Donkey Jaw Projects!
Hello everybody, this is Marshall Couture of DonkeyJawProjects.com and welcome to the first ever edition of what I'm calling Fun Art Friday. Haha, yeah, Fun Art Friday. It's just, a variation from Fan Art Friday, obviously. I really love fan art. I like doing it, but at the same time I have kind of this love-hate relationship with it. So meaning I just personally, like, I don't have any problem with other people doing it. Everybody, I mean, it's obviously a very popular thing, people are fans of stuff and they like to do it, and then people actually make businesses out of it, and the legalities about it are debatable, but I don't really want to talk about that. It's technically not illegal, and it's technically not legal either. Somewhere in the middle. So that's all I'll say about it. That being said, I do really enjoy seeing people's takes on characters, and I don't often find myself drawn to making fan art, but when I watch something that is super awesome, or read something, or take in some kind of content that has super awesome characters that I just love and I can't help it, like for instance Rogue One, Star Wars. I can't help but want to draw some of the characters for fun. So once in a while I will do fan art. I've done plenty of it in the past, and I kind of took the stance a little while during 2016 where I was like, I'm not going to do any fan art anymore. But I can't help it, sometimes I'm going to come across something really cool that I want to do some fan art for. So it's going to happen, like as you're seeing right here, with me doing Jyn Erso from Rogue One of Star Wars. So, but yeah, this is the beginning in the series of what I'm calling Fun Art Friday. I may do fan art sometimes, probably not too often, because I personally just am interested in doing other things. I really get inspired by artists, like there's this artist on YouTube, you can check him out, called Cody Varash. And he just does these like imaginative pieces of art, usually involving a female of some sort, and a lot of times there's animals and different elements, and it becomes kind of this sort of abstract realism kind of imaginative type of thing, and I really enjoy it. There's other artists who do things, Mary Doodles on YouTube, she does kind of more ironic and funny type of art she tends to do the videos for, and those are always very imaginative, and obviously a lot of the people who follow me are into comics and stuff and make comics, so that stuff, creator owned stuff is just interesting to me. I've always loved that kind of thing. I look at like Jack Kirby and stuff and see the amazing things he created that a lot of people make fan art of now. But he basically created most of what's known of the Marvel Universe. The core Marvel Universe characters, Fantastic Four, X-Men. He claimed to have a hand in Spider-Man, but I think Steve Ditko's probably is probably more heavy into the creation of that. Obviously Stan Lee was somehow involved, but it was really Steve Ditko and Jack Kirby who just really created some amazing characters and universes, and also in DC he created Jack Kirby created a lot of characters, New Gods, and you know, what's I'm trying to think. Olmec, and there's just so many. A little less popular over there, but those characters still survive to this day, of course. So yeah, but I just, this also could have been called like Free for All Friday or something like that. That's basically with these videos, and I may or may not do them every week, but when I do something and release it on a Friday, it's probably going to be like, you know, Fun Art Friday, what I'm calling that. Um, so yeah, it could be, it's like a free for all. I could kind of do whatever, different mediums. I may work in watercolors, digital, you know, acrylics, just pen and ink, just pencil, charcoal, whatever, crayons, whatever I just feel like using at the time. So yeah, I don't know. I hope you enjoy it. What I'm drawing here, obviously, is Jyn Erso. Well, maybe not so obviously. I don't know. It was taken from a photo in one of the collector's edition magazines. I actually bought one of them because I watched the movie, and I got inspired, and I was hanging out with my buddy Mike Vlad, and his and his girlfriend, and her name is Gabrielle, and yeah, I don't know. It was just really a fun time. It was a fun time hanging out with them. It was a fun time watching this awesome movie, and I came out of the movie thinking, wow, I might actually like this movie. This might be one of my favorite Star Wars movies ever. Like, seriously, it was really good. And I really liked Force Awakens last year. I personally really love even the prequels and stuff. I wouldn't say that the prequels are my favorites out of all of the Star Wars movies, but I definitely like them and put them, I just, I really like them. And I think of them very much as a big part of the whole Star Wars continuity. So, but man, Rogue One, it was so cool, and I've actually seen it twice. I had a chance to watch it this week as well with my brother-in-law, so that was really cool. Um, yeah, I mean, what is so cool about Rogue One? I mean, like, it was about 15 minutes into the movie, more or less, where, they had already gone to like 5 or 6 different planets. Like, it was kind of, it was slow beginning, but it was also fast beginning. A lot happened. But it was like a nice, gradual build up at the same time. The pace was good, I guess, is what the point is. And, you get to see Jyn Erso, kind of her origins. Not all of it. There's a lot more to her history that, may or may not. I mean, it probably is in some of the books or something. I'm not really 100% sure. But, you get a glimpse at that, the beginnings of kind of where she's from. And, yeah, and it's really interesting, and it's really cool. Another thing I really liked about the movies was, and I'm not gonna, there's no spoilers in this. I'm not, I'll just talk vaguely kind of about some stuff that happened, I guess. But, um, I really liked the people. What do they call them? The like when they went to the planet Jeddah. It's really cool because there's like all these like force related religions or cults in that city, in the Jeddah city. And one of them was like, I think it's called the Guardians of the Force or something, and there was 2 characters. that were very prominent in the film, that came that kind of got introduced in that period of the movie. And those two characters were awesome. Also, K2SO, the robot, that was kind of like, the C3PO type of character of this movie. Very cool, awesome. I mean, I think a lot of people think of K2SO as like one of the best parts, if not the best, character in the movie. Really cool, very much in the vein of C3PO as far as like disposition, but more aggressive, less afraid, but at the same time, kind of annoying. And super fun. His first line in the movie is just great. And I got a kick out of it both times I watched the movie. I will say, during the second viewing, I knew that some of the stuff was coming, so it didn't hit as strong, but it was still cool. Kind of the similar role that, Finn kind of played, kind of that comic relief, in Force Awakens. And I've had 2 weeks off. I'm kind of finishing off my 2 week off from my job run, and it's been really cool. And I've been spending a lot of time, in the Star Wars universe, watching all the old movies. It's really cool because how Force Awakens leads into A New Hope is just super cool, and definitely one of the big awesome things that I won't, reveal or spoil or whatever from the movie. But because of watching this movie, automatically I was like, I have to watch A New Hope now, and I ended up watching, all the old movies, and then I also then after that I watched Force Awakens and really loved that again. And after I watched Force Awakens again, I realized that how much I love that movie. And the thing about Force Awakens that's really cool is, the story is a little simpler than, Rogue One. And and that's maybe the weakness of the movie, because it's so similar of a plot to like A New Hope, and it just repeats so many kind of tropes from the Star Wars movies that in a little it just was close enough but not too close to it could have almost made it not a good thing for the movie, but it was just enough and not too much so that it doesn't annoy me too much. But the thing that really saves the movie, not that it's a bad movie that needs to be saving, but because the plot is kind of so similar to other stuff, maybe there's a little bit of weakness in it, but still awesome. I still love Force Awakens. But the thing that really makes Force Awakens like especially cool in my mind is just the characters in Finn and in like all the characters really, but also why can't I think of her name? It's horrible. Why can't I think of her name? But the main main lady. I'm killing myself. So, anyways, it's gonna come to me. But those characters were so good. I love Finn. He's just funny and silly and passionate all at the same time, and it's just really interesting the position he's in as a former stormtrooper. Sorry if that's a spoiler, but I mean, if you haven't seen Force Awakens by now, and you're a Star Wars fan, then I don't know. I don't know what to say. Shame on you. No. Shame on me for not knowing names that I should know too. So, but I don't know. Just like the position he's in as like a former stormtrooper, and the fact that he is like so willing to help Han Solo, and acts like he knows what to do when they get to the planet to kind of thwart the the efforts and stuff of their enemy. It's so funny because you come to find out when they're finally on the planet that he's really just doing this to save why can't I think of her name, to save the girl. and uh and that his job was a trash, like he worked on garbage detail or whatever. And then that whole line where he's like tells Han, he's like, Han is like, what did you think you were gonna do? If you don't know how to do this, and he's like, we'll use the Force. And he's like, that's not how the Force works. Han Solo says that. It's so good. Like, just, I love it. It's some of it. Some people might say like that stuff is goofy, but I love it. I like the cheesiness. I mean, honestly, like, people get so serious about Star Wars, and when you really think of it, and I mean, there's so much cheesiness and corniness to it, but it's so fun and it's so charming. And I mean, look at Yoda, his stuff in what is it, Empire Strikes Back, I think is the one that he comes in, and like, he's just such a goofball. Like, at first, when you first meet him, he's like going through Luke's stuff and like throwing it all over the place and just acting like such a goofball. And but at the same time, like, you look in the prequels, and he's like so serious, and he's like, everybody respects him, and as they should. But and even in the originals, he does obviously get serious and stuff, but he's kind of a goofball. So I don't know. I love Force Awakens. I love Rogue One. This movie, I can't wait to own it so I can watch it over and over. And also, like, I have all these old Star Wars movies and stuff that I can watch, and for some reason I just don't watch them as much as I would think I would, because I loved it all growing up and stuff. And I don't know that I was a super fan like some people are, meaning like I always loved it. It was always one of my favorite things in the world as far as like entertainment. But I didn't know all the back characters, and all the obscure characters, and I didn't know even the main characters' names. I've never been good with names anyways. I didn't know like a lot of stuff. I wasn't that deep into it, even though I probably would be if I had a chance, but I just didn't, I don't know, for some reason didn't catch on to being to that level of geekery. But I do enjoy it. I love all of them. Rogue One is awesome. If you haven't seen it, go see it 2-3 times. It's just so awesome. And yeah, this is the piece I made. Just a little, pen and ink piece of Jyn Erso. Thanks for watching.